In remote educational and professional settings, presenting complex data effectively remains a challenge. Presenters are separated from their visual aids, often leading to a disconnect between the presenter and their content, leaving the audience to decide where to focus their attention. Additionally, the power of nonverbal communication, especially hand gestures, is underutilized in remote data presentations due to the limitation of interactions with visual aids being mostly click-based. Our research introduces VisConductor, a solution that bridges this gap. Allowing presenters to harness the potency of animated data visualizations overlaid on their webcam feed in explaining data using gestural manipulation. VisConductor allows presenters to author animated data visualizations and the gestural interactions used to highlight important chart elements, control animation playback, and foreshadow animations. Presenters are able to use these gestures to direct their audience attention, fostering a deeper connection and ensuring the data's story is effectively conveyed. Jian is a public health worker preparing for a presentation on the global effects of war on financial and healthcare trends. Jian chooses VisConductor to present his findings. Upon opening the application, he is presented with the following layout. The top navigation holds the various widgets that Jian can utilize within his slides. This includes the chart widgets, gesture widgets, and annotation widgets. On the bottom of the screen, we have the slides panel showing the various slides in the presentation. The first step is to add a slide to introduce the topic and visualization details. Next, he adds a scatter plot widget to the slide by clicking on the widget. To configure the scatter plot widget, Jian imports his dataset and meticulously adjusts the visualization by configuring the values for the appearance and animation states of his visualization. Once a widget is successfully added, the left-hand panel is populated with a list of all widgets within the slide and also contains a settings panel for the added widgets. Soon after the visualization is created, Jian adds various annotation widgets to help him introduce the title of his presentation and the chart axis details. He intends to reveal these annotations during his presentation to capture his audience's attention. To trigger the reveal of each annotation, Jian harnesses the power of hand gestures by using an open hand pointing gesture for the reveal. After each annotation is added, he configures the open hand gesture widget to the slide and configures its settings for revealing annotations. Here is the end result of the first slide that was just created.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome as we reflect on the influence of war on financial and healthcare trends globally. As we embark, we find ourselves staring at a unique scatter plot over here. Below, we have an axis representing a country's GDP per capita for a given year. This is a reflection of their wealth. We also have another axis on the side here showing their life expectancy.
In his next slide, Jian would like to spotlight specific nations. He adds and configures the pistol pointing gesture widget to accomplish this. And the results are as such.
Now, let's introduce the stars of our show, the countries of the world that were major key players in the First World War. We'll start with China. We have Germany, we have the United Kingdom, and then the United States.
Jian wants to follow this up by building anticipation by employing the range framing gesture to foreshadow upcoming data in order to keep the audience on the edge of their seats for what is to come. He does so by adding and configuring the range framing widget to foreshadow the animation he intends to play. Finally, to control playback over the animation states, Jian uses the stroke listener widget, placing it to give the illusion of manipulating time with a dialing gesture. To portray the negative impacts of war, Jian adds a dimension of effective communication by configuring the selected nations to morph into downward arrows, a pictographic representation symbolizing war's devastating impacts, and chooses a slowly unraveling animation to drive the point home.
Next, we'll dive into a dark chapter in history, the First World War. Brace yourselves, as we're about to witness the devastating impact it had on nations involved from 1914 all the way to 1918. We'll see them dive into a deep valley of hardship indicated by the red line. And now I'm going to play us through this moment as we observe the trajectory of these countries.
To evaluate VisConductor, we conducted 2 user studies focusing on presenters and audience members, each having 11 participants. The results suggest that VisConductor provides an effective authoring and presenting experience for presenters and is capable of retaining the interest of a remote audience. For more details, please refer to our paper.